What I've done here, as I do in a lot of my works, is recreating a landscape. Essentially, I think of them all as manipulating and recreating topographical forms, and it can vary depending on the region or the given topography. I live in South Carolina, which is a sort of a wetland area, but I'm from Winnipeg, which is very much a prairie environment, and then this particular show is in the British Columbia Rockies. So those are three really varying types of topographical media. So I like to sort of every time I do one piece, I like to make it as specific to the region as possible. Winnipeg, where I grew up, is mostly, there is a lot of playgrounds there and a lot of schools that are built on top of landfill sites. And there's not like they're hiding it or anything. I mean, you'll see a sort of a prairie landscape with a giant sort of hill in the middle of it that has been created for recreation, right? And they put topsoil over it and grass it and everything, and now it's a sort of a recreational site for kids and whatever, people walk their dogs, right? So, but these are landfill sites that are converted into these recreational areas and schoolyards, as a matter of fact. So, as soon as I found that out when I was really young, I would have to say, 9 years old, I immediately started to think of what was beneath my feet as I walked through my elementary school playground, and I thought about the different layers of things as if they had organized the garbage as they compacted it. Kind of facetiously, I imagined them being like a food layer and a clothing layer and a car layer and a furniture layer, that are beneath my feet as I walked. And I imagined what it would look like if we could make a very clean slice through the earth, 50 feet or so, and extract that. Could we see those layers of those things as they would appear? But of course, it was never the case. It was always about sort of a mashup of soil and dirt, plastic, and whatever. What I did was, as soon as I arrived last Friday, I went out and I took a very, very rudimentary skyline drawing, or like a mountain line drawing of the surrounding area around Kelowna. And I used that and I transferred that line onto the gallery walls as a way of making it very specific to the region again, like I had said. And using that for the sort of basis behind the rest of the construction. Now, it's not Google Maps accurate or anything, but it's the inspiration behind the form itself. It is very much specific to Kelowna. You need to think about the lifespan of your own belongings. You need to think about your own purchasing habits and your own belongings, and how long you have them before they vanish, before you get rid of them, before you lose them, or whatever happens to our things. There's an infinite number of ways to lose that favorite t-shirt that you owned, and it just happens to be gone one day. I mean, think about how long you have things and why you get rid of them, and it's not meant to be like a real activist kind of piece, but it becomes that, I think. You really need to analyze exactly how long things are lasting and what happens to them afterwards. All the items of clothing that are on loan from the Salvation Army of Kelowna. So everything you see will go back to the Salvation Army to be to be what? I don't know. They don't seem to know. Some of it will be disposed of, some of it will be donated. There are more and more ways of recycling fabric these days than there used to be. Denim, for example, is being recycled into home insulation. There's a lot of companies that will buy fabric just for the rag purposes. They'll just cut them up and use them for rags. There's a lot of recycling that way. There's a lot of donation going on to the third world. So things are being recycled in a lot of ways, but there's still a tremendous amount of waste going on. So again, just think about that lifespan. Think about where things end up after you get rid of them.